Welcome back to the channel. We are going to look at structures in Visual Basic. And as I always do, I prefer to teach programming by what an example. So first, let's create our project, Windows Form application. And let's say you're going to try to calculate the size or the amount of water a pool will require. So let's name it pool calculator. Right, then click on create. Now, once we got into the Visual Basic Studio, then we want us to create a very simple application to demonstrate how structures works in Visual Basic. So I want you to go for, can browse for, let's go for tools. Sorry, let's take labels. Let's put this label at this end. I want you to go to properties and then name this as length. All right, I want you to change the auto size property of label to false so that you'll be able to expand the size the way we want. Scroll auto size, okay, yeah. So we have false, then we can expand, or better still, we can change the font size, the font property. Sans serif is okay, but let's expand the font and change the size to, let's say 18 or 14. Okay, and this is good. Let me put this one down small. All right, I want you to copy this and paste. Control C to copy on Windows, Control V to paste. All right, so let's arrange them nicely and bring it down a bit this way and that way. And let's name this property, or let's label this as the depth of the pool, and let's select the width. Let's label it as the width of the pool. Now you will need three input box to accept data. So let's go for text box. Okay, let's put it here. We put this one backwards. Put this one to backward. Put this one backward. Then let me put this closer. Let me expand. Let me go for multi-line so that we can make it look good. And yeah, on the letter S to align. That's nice. Let me put this one backwards more. Okay, and I want you to Control C and copy, paste, copy, paste. And I want you to arrange them. Select only one. Yes. Arrange it nicely. Should be in line. This is good. So let me put this one downwards. This should come. Yes. Let this one come down small. Okay, this is good. Align. Should align. This is also good. All right. So what I want to do is display the total amount or the total volume required in gallons. So I'm going to put another label here. Label. Then change it properties. Okay, flat standard is okay. Then I'm going to change it. Okay, then let's label this as gallons. Sorry, gallons. Okay, the end results of our calculation will be determined here. Let's go and change this to font size to 14 as we did previously. And then I want to go back or copy this and then paste. I want you to put it here and then change it property, auto property to false so that we can resize it. So let's change it to false. And then I want you to look for border star, then change it to fixed 3D. Then we can expand this, make it a bit bigger because it is in a display. Align with it like this nicely. Okay. And then I want you to change the back color to something with a display, something like this. Then we can change it text color to, let's say, white. Yes. Okay. So let's change the back color again to something nice or something that you like. Don't like this one, let's change it to black. Okay, black is fine. All right, so we go back to properties and delete, select label. Let's remove the gallons from it. And I want us to give a name to this one because you will require it in our calculations. So LBL display is fine. Okay. Now let's deal with this one. This text box too. Let's change the name to TST length. Let's change the name of this one to TST width. Let's change the name of this one to TST depth. Okay. Now we have designed our user interface. We can run it and see how it works. Yes, so once you run it, this is what we get. A simple application, but we are missing some few things. We need the calculate button and the exit button. Let's go back to our visual designer. Let's put two buttons here. Okay. Yes, this is good. All right, then let's go to the property and let's say BTN calculate, and then let's change it label to calculate. And then let's go back to our toolbox. We can also copy and paste, but I want us to go to our toolbox. Okay, this is good. All right, so let's say exit. So BTN exit. Go back to here. Exit. Okay, this is good. So now we are going to program these two buttons to perform the actions that we need this application to do for us based on what structures. Okay, based on Visual Basic structures. So let's double click on the calculate button. Code for specific functions, or actions. We are going to deal with what structures in this scenario. We're going to deal with structures in scenarios. The first thing you want to do is first define your structure. First define your structure. How does it want the structure to look like? The structure should be able to have properties that will conform to the action you want it to perform for easy accessibility. Okay, so this is a pool application that tends to calculate for the volume in a particular pool, and you have given the width, the length, then the depth. You are supposed to calculate for the volume of water that's supposed to be poured into the pool in terms of gallons. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So at the top of the sub function that initiate the button click event, we are going to define what our structure. So the structure, as the name implies, the pool has all dimensions. So let's use dimensions. Okay, and that is as such. So now we are going to give members to our structure. So what you do is that say public I want our length to be in double. So public length or DBL length, we can use length as double, public width as double, then public depth as double. Sorry. Now, I want us to also create a function that can help us to calculate our gallon, our volume in terms of gallon. So this is how you declare functions in Visual Basic. Public function and get gallons. Get gallons by variable pool as dimensions. By variable pool as dimensions. Then let's do the convection factor here. Constant con factor is equal to as double is equal to say 7.48. The conversion factor is 7.48. Convert from feet to gallons. Yes, so now that you know our conversion factor, then we can call for the return. Okay, return pool dot get pool dot length times pool dot width times pool dot height. Sorry, depth rather. Okay, pool dot depth. Then we return that. So this, what are we doing here? What is happening here? Okay, fine. If not because of the dimensions, the structures that we defined over here, we will probably have to input three variables here: the length, the width, and the depth. Okay, defining them, their data types and everything, but that structures has helped us to what? Shorten that process. So once we define our structure, length, width, and depth, then we can pass the structure as what? A variable to our function, get gallons. Once get gallons get the functions, then we can get the various member within our structure. The multiplying the member by the structure can give us what? Will give us what? The volume in terms of what? Gallons. So the conversion factor have to come in order to what? Get that what? Fulfilled. So once we run our function, the return value is going to be in what? In gallons, so that we can display that to our user. So now the next thing we have to do is to come to what? The private sub and then do justice to that. So this, when we come to our function, this is where the bottom, calculate bottom. Okay, so in here, we are going to extract data from the length, the width, and the depth, and store them in our structure so that our get gallons function can get those details to calculate for the gallons for us. So that at the end, the results will be displayed in what? In the display window. So what you do next is that first, we're going to create a new variable for what? Our gallon, for our dimension, for our structure. So you say create a variable of the structure dimensions. So dim pool size as dimensions, then dim dbl gallons as double. Okay, now you're going to try and cast the input text values from the text box and convert it into what? Double, or cast it into double. So what you do is that you call the built-in function double dot, because all the variables have been defined in double, dot try pairs. You have tst length dot text, then tst length dot text, then pool size dot I don't know why I keep on clicking on the enter instead of the space bar. For most programming languages that I've been using, you use the enter to get the variable or to any function or whatever that the highlight will give you. But Visual Studio will always go to the next line. I don't like it. Pool size dot length. So what we are doing is that we are getting the input field from the length field here, and then storing it in the pool size dot what? Length what? Member, the dimensions member for the pool, which is what? Length. So you do the same thing for the remaining two. Double dot try pairs tst width dot text pool size dot width. Okay, then double dot try this tst depth dot text pool size dot depth. All right, so now we have our variables for the function get gallons. So then we can pass in the pool size, which is a dimensions, because the get gallons accept what dimensions. So you say that DBL, or defined variable that we did over here, DBL gallons is equal to get sorry gallons get gallons. Then we pass in the pool size because it accepts dimension property pool size. Okay. Then once we get the results, then we can display. So have LBL display dot test is equal to DBL gallons dot to string. Okay, and this is a number display. All right, so that is that for our calculate or gallons based in our field. Let's go to the design window. Let's run the application and see if it works. So now this is our application, and let's enter. Let's say the length should be, let's say, 40, width, let's say 20, height or depth, let's say 2. And let's click on the calculate, and it is giving us a wrong figure. Let's exit our application, go back to the code and check what went wrong. Oh, okay, I think it's supposed to be a number. So let's run it again and see what happens. And let's say 10, 3, 4 and calculate. See, 898 in terms of what gallon. So this is how simple we can just calculate or design application using what structures. So let's go back to our code that I've been doing to code for that. So here we code application dot exit what function. That once we click on exit application, whereas let's start and test that section too. Okay, so this brings us to our discussion on structures, and I will give you another example to look at structures. Another way to also help out what minimize time frame in terms of what our design. Thanks.